Welcome to my closet, and this is my little gown collection. So this week we're talking a little bit about my office wear. This is what I wear to work. I know it's not your conventional work outfit, but when the job calls for it, I usually show up for work in a gown. And this is something that started maybe about 5-6 years ago. I used to be in a rock band called General Luna, and back then I wasn't wearing any gowns. In fact, it was pretty hard to convince me to wear a gown back then. That was a different image, different packaging, and I used to just wear ripped jeans, boots, and cut-up t-shirts. And you know what? I still dress that way sometimes. I mean, I'm still a rock and roll girl deep inside. But for the gigs I've been doing these days, they're a little bit more formal, more corporate, and I work with different ensembles. I work sometimes with a jazz band or with an orchestra, singing classical. So this is more what I'm wearing for gigs these days, and I have started a little tiny collection from friends and from designers I admire. And it was important for me to invest in a few gowns of my own so that I have one in at least every color. Because sometimes when I do corporate shows, the companies I sing for have certain theme colors, they have a company color, their logo is a certain color, and they want the entertainer to match. So that is why I started a little collection of my own gowns so that if a gig comes up last minute, I don't have to go scrambling. Now sometimes I do work with stylists if they want a special look that I don't have in my collection, or I just want to try something new because I've repeated my gowns quite a bit already and I want a different look. I don't think it's wrong at all to repeat outfits for events. I mean, you can wait a while before wearing it again, but I don't think I have that many outfits in my closet that I can go on and on and on without any repetition. So what I try to do is just have at least 2 or 3 gowns in every color so that I can rotate without being too noticeable that I'm repeating gowns. So there, this mess around me is my little gown collection. This came from my closet. We are not filming there right now because it's too tight and too hot. So I brought them all down and I am currently drowning in years of collecting gowns. So I'm going to talk about a few of them that are special to me. So this is my most valuable gown, and I'll tell you why. This gown is actually older than me. It's got quite a few decades on it, and that's because it belonged to my lola, my grandma, Celia Diaz Laurel. Now, she was a singer, an actress, and an artist in her time, and she actually wore this gown for some of her performances. And then she passed it on to my mom, Iwi Laurel, who also wore it for some of her shows. And now it's in my closet, and I'm honored to have it in my closet because it really means a lot to me and my family. And I look up to them as performers, as people, as women. They are my greatest influences. And to be able to have a piece of, I guess, the history they've had on stage in my closet means a lot to me. And isn't it pretty cool that at some point in our lives we were all the same size? So this is pretty cool. It's fully beaded. I do not recognize the brand. Of course, it's been around for many decades, so I don't have the tag or anything. But it is made in India, and it is fully beaded. It's a sort of, it's kind of chiffon that's textured with a lot of gold bugle beads that have faded over the years, but I still think it has that old world classic charm. It's a very classic cut, and I enjoy wearing it, and I'm so grateful it's with me. So there, this is my most valuable piece in my closet. So I'm showing you these 2 pieces in my closet, which aren't exactly gowns, but I do consider them formal wear. This one is sort of like a high-low hem dress, and this one is a top that I can pair with pants or a ball skirt if it's more formal. And the reason why these are very, very important to me is they are indigenous Filipino weaves called tinalak from the tribeswomen of Lake Cebu, Mindanao. These pieces were created by Joseph Aloysius. He is an eco-fashion designer and a good friend of mine. And this one on my right is very, very valuable. I can't even put a price tag on it because it was woven by a woman named Lang Dulay, who is revered as the sort of grandmother of tinalak. She is, a very respected weaver. And when Joseph, my friend, went to Lake Cebu to go and meet her, she had just passed away. So unfortunately, he was only able to reach the wake where they were giving her a tribute. This fabric that was made into this top here is one of the last patterns that Lang Dulay wove. So it's very, very meaningful to me. It says a lot about our Filipino heritage and culture and artistry. And of course, if you do a little bit of research on the dream weavers, part of their thing is they dream about the patterns that they weave about. So this was one of her final dreams. And to me, that just means a lot, and I'm honored to have it in my closet. And I think they're really cool. I think they're so versatile. They suck you in, they give you a nice figure, and it's always great to promote Filipino culture. If I had to give my gowns awards, these two would definitely win for being the shiniest gowns that I have. They are super shiny, super heavy, encrusted full of beads. And I think, you know, they work well on stage because the lights hit it and you sparkle on stage. This one on my left, I actually wore just last night for a show. I've worn it several times. I don't feel bad repeating it because it's so gorgeous. This was created by an Iloilo-based designer named John Montenola. It has a very long train with lots of tassels and details, and it kind of dances as you move. And I love it. It's very form-fitting. It flatters the body. I've used it several times. I used it the very first time I sang in the Philippine Arena. I've used it for a shoot for Showbiz Magazine. And I just think it's pretty cool because it has that 1920s Great Gatsby sort of vibe. But you can also style it like a modern diva sort of way with the hair and makeup, of course. So I think it's a good gown to have. It's very heavy and very shiny and very labor intensive. And I'm glad I have it with me. Thank you, John Montenola. This one on my right, you'll be surprised because I actually bought the fabric in Mega Mall. It's a beautiful velvet, actually. So it's quite heavy. It has a lot of weight to it. And it's covered completely in beads and little sequins. And I had a shop called Beyond White created for me to my body. And I think they did a great job following my contour. It's very form-fitting. It's got that serpentina cut that enhances the waist and the hips. And it catches the light beautifully. And who would have thought that I just bought this fabric in Mega Mall? So sometimes, you know, you don't have to go all out couture. If you find a nice fabric, whether that be in Divisoria or when you travel to other countries, or you can go to your favorite mall and get fabrics. If you know the cut that suits your body and you know what kind of fabric you like, then you can just have one made, and it won't cost nearly as much as having a fully beaded couture gown made with a designer. So it's really up to you if you want to save or splurge. So now that we're deep into the Burr months, a lot of holiday events are coming up, and of course you need holiday gowns for holiday shows. So when I don't have time to think because I'm too busy, what I do when I don't have time to think is I go back to certain favorites of mine. So for example, brocade is one of my favorite fabrics to wear because it sucks you in, it holds in all the jiggly places, and it gives you the corseted effect. And also, I think personally it looks classy. I think brocade is something very elevated and very highbrow. It gives a very sophisticated flair. So if I don't have time to think, chances are I'll get different brocade in different colors and have a bunch of gowns made, so I know automatically that I'm gonna like it because I like brocade and I like the way it looks. So these gowns are all in brocade. This is by a designer who is my neighbor actually. Her name is Debbie Ko. Another brocade gown by Debbie Ko in a perfect holiday red. This works well for Christmas shows or for Valentine's shows too. It has a nice stiff structure, so it holds everything in place. You don't have to worry about anything slipping out of place. You're secured with brocade. Another beautiful gown by Debbie Ko is this green brocade. Green is my favorite color in the world. I love green, especially this shade of green, which is like a deep emerald green. And I think the brocade in this color is perfect also for Christmas shows. Another brocade couture piece I have in my closet, which is also green, my favorite color, and it works well for the holidays. It's not a full-length gown, but it also works as formal wear. This is a dress by Marikit, and it is also in brocade. So If it's in brocade, chances are I'm probably gonna like it. So it's a brainless decision for me to go with a fabric that I trust and that I like. This little piece that is also not a floor-length gown, but it is considered formal wear in my eyes, is the first piece that I have in my current collection. I have had this piece since I was 15. It means something to me because I designed it myself. I don't know why, but when I was 15, I super idolized Cher. Like, I wanted to look like Cher, I wanted to sing like Cher. And I saw this iconic dress of hers that had beading in all the strategic places, and it had ostrich feathers and all that jazz. And I wanted something like it. I did not have ostrich feathers at hand at the time, so I conceptualized this sort of pale pink, almost white, skin-tight mesh with strategic beading. And at the time, it didn't cost much to have it made. Like, if I'm not mistaken, it cost me something like 2,500 pesos back then, which is, if you know how much gowns cost, that's pretty cheap. And it stayed in my closet all these years. I still wear it, and thankfully it still fits me because it does stretch. But yeah, I've had this in my closet the longest, and this is a special piece to me because I designed it myself. This little treasure is a terno with very interesting sleeves, and it's special to me because I actually found it in someone's garage sale. It was just laying there, nobody was really paying attention to it, and immediately I saw these awesome like sleeves that look like they have dripping beads on them. I was attracted to the color, which is neutral with gold accents, which is totally up my alley, and I asked how much it was, and it was something like 1,000 pesos. And again, if you know gown prices, you know that that's pretty cheap for a gown. And I tried it on, and it was the perfect fit, even down to the length. So I don't know who previously owned this, but whoever you are, thank you for selling your gown in a garage sale, because I found myself a pretty cool terno. And of course, as a Filipina entertainer, ternos are always good to have in your closet. So, little tip, if you're starting out and you wanna, have a little gown collection, if you're a singer and you need to collect outfits for singing, sometimes going to garage sales isn't so bad. If you don't find a gown that fits you, you can actually buy some dresses or some used clothing, cut it up and have a seamstress make it into something else. And there you go, you have a new outfit for your singing. If I was gonna give this gown an award, it would have to be the gown that is the most used and abused in my closet. In fact, the designer, again, my friend Joseph Aloysius, is not allowing me to wear this gown anymore because I've worn it so much. I've used it, I have ripped it up, I have used it for shows, music videos, appearances, and it has totally been tattered to the point that we had to cut out this vintage lace and put it on a new mesh base. So this is now the 2.0 version. This is on a new mesh base, and I still love it so much. So sorry, Joe, but I'm gonna keep wearing this gown if I need to. It's also special to me because the first time I ever wore a gown, which kind of signified the image change that I did with my gigs, was for my music video, Walang Anuman. And that music video is very special to me because we won an award for it. And this was one of my costumes. So for me, I'm gonna keep it. I don't care how used and abused it is and how ratty it might look. It means something to me, it's important to me, and I love this gown. The perfect finishing touch to the perfect gig outfit or gown are the accessories. And I'm gonna show you a little bit of what I use at my gigs. This is where I keep my accessories. As you can see, they've all been divided. I have all the rhinestones in one tray, all the golds in one tray. And these are all from a local brand called Sprinkles. I'm super proud of the Sprinkles ladies, Jim Lee and Grace, because they've opened over 8 branches in just 1 year. And they're proudly a local brand. They have all kinds of accessories, and they keep me happy with all their versatile styles. That's it. Thank you so much for drowning in gowns with me this week. It has been fun. It's been a mess. I have some cleaning to do, but it's been fun sharing with you my little gown collection. If you like what you're watching, please don't forget to click subscribe and hit the notification bell. This has been Nicole, Laurel, Asensio, and this is No Limits. New content for you every Friday at 12 noon.